Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install fonts for free so that you can use these fonts in Adobe Photoshop or Microsoft Office such as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. I'm going to be showing you 3 different resources of where you can get fonts for free. The first one I have open here and it's called dafont.com. The next tab we have Google Fonts, fonts.google.com is the URL. And then the third website is 1001freefonts.com. Let's navigate back to the first tab and we're going to start off with dafont.com. Now all 3 resources are quite similar in terms of downloading and installing the font. For the sake of this video, I will be taking you through each of these individually. So you've picked a website and now you're going to look for your font that you want to download. Now for the sake of this video, I'm just going to choose the first font that has recently been added to dafont.com. But as you can see, if you look above here, you have different categories, all labeled alphabetically that you can select from. For me, I'm going to be choosing the Yellow Rabbit font. And I'm going to be hitting the download button on the right hand side here. Let's click this arrow and show in folder. And here you can see the Yellow Rabbit font that we just downloaded. So the file is currently a compressed file. We're not going to uncompress it until we've downloaded our other 2 fonts from the other resources. So the next resource we're going to download from is called fonts.google.com. So let's go to the middle tab here. And as you can see on the top here, you have the ability to search for the font you want, select the language, select the category, select font properties, and select the size in pixels. Now again, to make it easy for this video, I'm just going to select something from the trending suggestions. I'm going to select the Tenali Ramakrishna font. So I'm going to left click on this to select it. And then I'm going to scroll to the top right here and I'm going to download family. Now I'm not going to change any of the pixel sizes or anything like that. I'm just going to simply hit download family and maintain the default font settings. Left click on it to download. Okay, I'm not going to show in folder this time, but it will be in our downloads folder. Let's move on to the third resource here on the third tab, 1001freefonts.com. Again, you have a nicely presented index of where you can select your font by alphabetical order, and further down here you can select the color, the size, and a preview of the font that you want. Again, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to select one of these new fonts. I'm going to go with Angeline Vintage at the top here. I'm going to go with the Angeline Vintage and I'm going to hit the download. Left click to download. Okay, now we've got our 3 different fonts from 3 different resources. Let's show in folder again. Okay, so now that we're in our downloads folder, we're going to uncompress all these files. You're going to need an uncompression tool. I have WinRAR currently installed on this computer. If you don't have WinRAR currently installed on your computer, I'll put a link in the description to a video of mine that shows you how to download, install, and use WinRAR on your computer. So we're simply going to right click on each of these and uncompress them to their own separate folder. So I'm going to click extract to Angeline Vintage. I'm going to extract to this font's name, and I'm going to also extract to the Yellow Rabbit fonts folder. Now that we've got all our 3 files uncompressed, we can start installing them. So let's start off with the Angeline Vintage. Double click on it, double click again, and here you have your uncompressed contents. Now the 2 files that we're most interested in are the OpenType font file and the TrueType font file. Now the OpenType font file, short for OTF, is the newer type of font file, and the TrueType font file, or short for TTF, is the older form of font file. You can pick either or to install, but not both. I'm going to pick the newer type of font file, the OTF font file, which is the top one here. I'm going to double click on it to open it, and then I'm going to simply click install to install the Angeline Vintage font file. Okay, the button should now grey out, meaning that it has been installed. Let's close out of this and install the next font file, and then go back to your Chrome downloads. Once you're here, let's choose the next font file here, double click on it, and this folder only contains one font type file, the TrueType font file. Let's double click on it, and then hit the install button. Once it grays out, again it means it has been installed. Let's close out of this and go back to our Chrome downloads and install the Yellow Rabbit font file, our final font file. Double click on the folder. And similar to the previous font, we only have one font file type. This time we have the OpenType font file, or OTF for short. Let's double click on this and install it. And then hit the install button. Okay, let's close out of this and let's go back to our Chrome downloads. We have now installed 3 of the fonts that we have downloaded from those 3 resources. I'm now going to open up Photoshop to show you that these 3 font types have indeed been installed and are ready for use. I'm going to open up Photoshop. Okay, so I have my Photoshop open with 2 very simple layers, a background and a text layer. As you can see, currently the font type is Arial. We're going to change this to Angeline Vintage. Click on it and then type your font file name. And there we have it, there's Angeline Vintage. Let's press enter. And there you go, the font type has changed. Let's do that for the next font type, the Tonali Ramakrishna. And press enter. And there we have it, there's the Tonali Ramakrishna. And finally, let's do it for the final font type, the Yellow Rabbit font. And there we have the Yellow Rabbit font type. Okay, that concludes the Photoshop tutorial. And now I also want to show you that these fonts also work on document files. For example, Microsoft Office, such as Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. I don't currently have these installed, but I will show you Microsoft WordPad. So I'm going to open up WordPad now. And now again, I'm just going to highlight this text that I have pre-made. Currently it's set to Calibri. I'm going to change this to some of the fonts that we've just installed. And the first one is going to be Angeline Vintage. And press enter. And there we go, we have our Angeline Vintage font. Let's highlight again and change it to the Tonali Ramakrishna. And there's the Tonali Ramakrishna font. And finally, let's change it to the Yellow Rabbit font. And there we go. All the fonts that we have downloaded and installed from those 3 resources all work on document files. Alright guys, that concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.